Wondering how to use Momcozy S12 Pro quick. Stick around in this video. I'm going to walk you through the different components, the setup, as well as tips for the different settings and how you can make the most out of your pumping experience. All right, so let's get started and take a look at the components. And one of the great things about the S12 Pro is that there are only 5 parts, so it's super simple to clean, maintain, and assemble. So first of all, you have your collection cup. This is a 7-ounce capacity. This is where all your milk collects during your pumping session. You have your diaphragm. Now, this prevents milk from backflowing and coming in contact with your pump motor. Your pump motor is the hub of your pump. It's what creates and drives your suction. It has a control panel for operating your pump. You then have your flange. There's a connector linker attached to the back. This is a hybrid flange, so it means you've got hard silicone with a soft silicone outer rim. This is the famous Momcozy double seal, so it helps to create a better seal when it sits against your breast. And then you have your valve. This opens and closes during your pumping and helps to push the milk from your flange tunnel into your cup. So how does this all go back together? It's really nice and simple. You take your flange. Now you can see that these are pointing down. We are going to want to take our our valve. Make sure that your valve opening is facing down. You can see here there's also a little cutout. We're going to push that in. Make sure this is in nice and securely. We want to, make sure this is pointing down, so when it opens and closes, it's pushing the breast milk into our collection cup. If you have it sitting this way, it's going to try push it up, but we're wanting to push it down into our collection cup. Make sure it's on nice and secure. Really important with any breast pump is making sure our seals are nice and secure. We want to make sure that there's no air leaks that can lead to loss of suction or milk leaks. So once we have that, we're going to take our diaphragm. Now we're going to have the lower semicircular bit that sits inside the cup. We're going to push that on nice and firm. Once that's in place, we're going to attach this to our collection cup. Now you can see the diaphragm fits nicely in to the top of this. We also want to make sure there's a little cutout for our pouring spout, the pouring spout cover. There's a little arrow with it pointing up. Align that. I like to push the diaphragm into place, and then we simply push hard down on the flange to push it into place. Now make sure that you have it all nice and firm in place. Push around. Once you think you have it in place, run your fingers around it again. We really want to make sure that this is nice and secure. Then we take our pump motor. There's a hole on here that lines up. We simply push that in. You'll hear it clip into place. And that is our completed, fully assembled Momcozy S12 Pro Quick. Now, a couple of housekeeping things prior to pumping. Always make sure your pump parts are clean and sterilized as needed. We want to make sure too that we have nice clean hands before we assemble our pump parts. And then before we start pumping, we need to make sure that our pump is fully charged, or at least going to have enough charge for the length of our pumping session. It is a simple USB-C charger, so pops in, that goes into your wall plug. And then we want to make sure that we also have the correct size flange. Now, this is a 24mm standard flange size. There is a 21mm flange insert that comes with your pump. However, you may need to purchase separate flange size or flange insert separately. One of the things that I love about the Momcozy is they include a nipple ruler. This is super simple to use. Make sure that your nipple is erect. We are then going to want to, imagine my finger is your nipple, place this over our nipple until we can reach the very base of our nipple. And we want to make sure that we're not having our areola showing. We just want it to sit flat at the base of our nipple comfortably. So if I had that over the 27, it would also be able to see my areola, imagining my finger's your nipple. So for me, I would choose a 24 millimeter. The 21's a bit too tight. 24 will sit nice and flat over my nipple to the base of the areola. Measure your nipple prior to pumping. Make sure you do this regularly throughout your pumping session, because the further you go from into your postpartum journey, the smaller your nipple size generally gets. Really important for our comfort and for our output to have the correct nipple size. Too large and it will draw your areola in and be quite painful. Too small and it's going to rub against the tunnel walls and again be really painful. So if you decide that you need a smaller than a 24 millimeter flange, you can simply take your proper flange insert. These simply sit, you push them into the flange tunnel and they sit flat against your flange, and this then reduces your tunnel diameter to the size of your flange insert, and you can continue pumping with this in place. If you need a larger than the 24 millimeter flange, you will probably, or you will need to purchase a larger flange size separately. Okay, so we have our correct flange size. We have a nice, clean, sterile pump. We are ready to start pumping. We are going to want to line up our nipple centrally. During our pumping session, the nipple needs to be able to move in and out of the flange tunnel with the suction. We have our nipple lined up. We're going to want to be upright, have our pump nice and secure with a pumping bra. During our pumping session, you don't want to be leaning all the way around. These will leak. There is that pouring spout at the top. You can see it's not fully covered. These are not a 360-degree pump. So for the most part, you're going to need to be upright while you're pumping with this nice and secure in place. We want to have a secure pumping bra because we don't want to be getting air leaks between our breast and the flange. So then we are ready to start pumping. To turn your pump on, you simply hold the power button in for 2 seconds. It will recall your last pumping session. Now this is slightly annoying for me. So if I change it so you're in the expression mode, I'll show you what I mean. It starts again in the expression mode. So whatever mode you were last in. This is annoying because we ideally want to be starting in the stimulation mode, which is this little heart. Now, this is the shorter suctions for initiating our letdown. So we want to start with the little heart, your stimulation mode, and we want to be on a level of 2 or 3 to first start. Now, we want to run through this for 1 to 2 minutes until our letdown comes, and we know our letdown comes because you'll start to see a flow of breast milk coming into your cup. Once we have our letdown, then we can switch over. You have 2 options. You have your expression mode. Now these are your longer drawn out pulls. These are for drawing out your breast milk. Again, I recommend starting at a 2 or 3 level and then working your way up to a suction strength that feels comfortable for you and your body. You have 9 to choose from. You can press the minus or the plus button. This number here will tell you what suction level you are on. Or you have a third option, which again, we can press the mode button and we can switch. So we've got the heart and the expression activated, and I'll let you listen to this. It's a combination of those shorter pulls followed by a longer pull. So which settings should you be using during your session? So we start in the stimulation, as I mentioned, for 1 to 2 minutes. I like starting on a lower suction. You can work your way up till you find one that's comfortable. We don't want to start on a level 9 because that's going to pull our nipple with it and most likely be uncomfortable. So start low, work your way up. Then we can switch over to either the expression or the mixed mode, and we can either run our session, the remainder of our session with that, or you might find during your pumping session that your milk output starts to slow. Then simply switch back to that stimulation, that little heart, and have another letdown, and then switch back to your expression or your mixed mode. Unfortunately, there's not a one size fits all when it comes to your pumping and pumping rhythm. It's really about finding what best works for you and your body. So some mums find they only need the one letdown and then they can run on the mixed mode or the expression, and that suits them. Others find that they like multiple letdowns, so they might run a minute on the stimulation followed by 5 minutes on the expression, then back to a minute on the stimulation and then 5 minutes on the expression, and then 1 minute on the stimulation followed by 5 minutes on the expression. It really does come down to you and your body. So have a play around, see what one feels comfortable with your suction strength, 2, what gives you a great output. If you're seeing your milk start to slow, try switch back to that stimulation and see how you go. On the pump itself, this little number here is simply the 51. This is simply your timer, how long you've been pumping for. Switches over to minutes after the first minute. Underneath is your battery life on how long you've got left. Now this pump will last for around 240 minutes of run time, so it is actually quite a lot to get you multiple pumping sessions throughout the day. Again, just keep in mind when you turn your pump on, it will take you to the last setting that you used. Make sure you use the mode button to switch back to that stimulation. Once you've done pumping, your pump is on, we're going to want to lean forward slightly so we're not spilling any of that goodness. We're going to want to break the seal with our finger and then remove our pump. We don't want to just simply rip it off because that's going to rip our nipple off with it. So lean forward, break the seal, remove the pump. Then we're going to remove the pump motor and we can pour our breast milk into a collection container, a milk bag, bottle. We do not want to keep it stored in our collection cup. One of the things is great, they also have a little stand. So this is your dust cover. You can go on to keep your pump flange nice and clean. Also Joules as a stand. So if you want to remove one pump, stand it upright while you're removing the other one, you can do that. All right, lastly, cleaning our pump. We've emptied out all of our breast milk. Now it's time to clean our pump. We simply pull all the pieces apart. Anything that's come in contact with our breast milk, including flange inserts, remove those if you are using them. Your pump motor does not come in contact with breast milk, so we do not need to wash this. If you submerge it in water, you will ruin your pump. If you get any breast milk on it, just use a dry cloth, damp if you have to remove that off. We then want to clean our pump parts. We can do this a number of ways. We can use warm soapy water, give them a nice good scrub. If you are pumping on the go, you can use some breast wipes or a pumping spray. If you have one of the bottle sterilizers or a bottle dishwasher like the Momcozy Clean Power Pro, you can use that to clean them. You can also use the top rack dishwasher to clean your pump parts. To sterilize these, so you again have a couple of options. You can use the boiling water method, so you pop all your parts into a pot of boiling water and let them boil for 5 to 10 minutes. Pull them out, place them on a dry cloth. You can also use a sterilizer, but you cannot use a microwave sterilizer or a UV sterilizer. So you can use the Momcozy Clean Power Pro or a sterilizer, a steam sterilizer, but not the UV or the microwave. Now, the reason for that is the pump parts are only able to tolerate temperatures of up to 110 degrees Celsius. So if you are using a sterilizer, please make sure that it doesn't heat over that 110 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, you may damage your pump parts and they will be void from warranty. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please ask and I'll do my very best to answer. If you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help for the content to get seen by other pumping moms. And if you want more videos like this, please hit that subscribe. Cheers.